Thus I invoke myself.
So what's your name? Yullbrenna.
Ah, fresh meat!
Alright, hey everybody, Yullbrenna here with another Ability Arena gameplay video, and this time we are going to be playing Invoker. I've wanted to play Invoker, don't really play him too often just because he's been such an automatic S-tier god for a while, but deciding to play him, he's gotten nerfed a lot over the introduction of him. He's just been powerful from the beginning, and so let's get back into him, see if I can play him again. So one of the strategies I did immediately with Invoker, as you saw, I immediately level him up and get Alacrity into play. You essentially get a free spell. Alacrity is one of those spells that is just so good, and it provides attack speed bonus and damage bonus. So I level it up around 2, and I'm getting essentially a really good spell right at the beginning. So selling a spell isn't the worst thing in the world. So kind of a strategy I like to do with Invoker, especially when there's not a lot of good spells that popped up. And then I'll combine it with some other spells, you know, some powerful spells like Blood Rage and Infernal Blade. Found Witch Doctor. I like the body more than I liked the other ones, so I went ahead and threw in, you know, just a little bit of frontline, and then of course some Chain Lightning to get rid of those pesky illusions. So I've got some other ideas. I kind of want to try a Reality Rift with Starbreaker as well, so I'm going to try that out. And I just did a quick reroll with the extra gold I had. I kind of wanted to turn the Alacrity unit into a ranged carry, so I went ahead and did that. Got Weaver, which isn't the best, but should work for the time being. Looking for some spells here. I always kind of, again, you've seen me do it before, where I really want to get Swashbuckle to work. It's just not a great spell, but I always like to try to see if I could use it. So I go ahead and pick it up. We'll see if it actually works. And I get the reroll off just in time. And I get Lina. And I'll go ahead and with the Reality Rift build, I'll go ahead and use that with Omni Knight, who has some good mana pool. So it should work out, and I just needed some frontline anyway, so definitely using him. And then of course I find 3 Rot, so this early in the game, sell Swashbuckle, get Rot, and then I wanted to get some lifesteal on the Lina as well, so I'll pick up Vampiric Embrace since there wasn't really too much else to go with. Almost worked there. I'm picking up the Fervor because it works really well with Alacrity, since you're going to be getting that bonus attack speed and getting that as well. And then you want to level up with Invoker, most likely to at least level 4 for your shop, because you're going to be getting 2 spells once you get to shop 4. So one of those that you, especially if you're going to use the other spell, you'll want to get to shop 4 relatively quickly. So that's why I'm leveling pretty aggressively. And it's showing in the rankings where I'm kind of towards the bottom, but it's still early game, so not that punishing. I did pick up Overpowered just in case Blood Rage didn't pop anymore, or I wanted to switch it out if Fervor popped a good amount. And then Borrowed Time, I've got Waveform in there, getting to the back line, I've got Rot, and so I'll go ahead and throw Borrowed Time on there too. I need a little bit of survivability there. I do find Blood Rage again, which Blood Rage getting it to level 3 is pretty key, so I'll go ahead and lock shop for that. And going better, moving up the table a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and just get a generic Paladin sword. I don't like getting Meteor Hammer, it kind of takes out one of your units. So I'll go ahead. Paladin Sword can work well for spell damage, it can work well for a lot of things. Running a bit out of space here as well. And I'll pick up Death Ward. So Death Ward is one of those new spells that just came out. So I'm going to go ahead and try it out. I've kind of told you it's not my favorite spell. I'm not the happiest that it came back into the game because I think it's a little overpowered. But when I see people going for it, I'm going to contest it a little bit. I don't want anyone to get the Gaben of it. It's just too strong. So I'll go ahead and get it myself to try to take it away from everybody else. So I do need a little bit more frontline. I've got the Reality Rift build in play right here, which will, but I'll also have the Rolling Boulder as well. So I'm gonna have 2 sets of frontline in, and I'll just go ahead and level up to shop 4. Now I can get an additional spell into play. So that's the EMP, and that kind of burns the mana of my opponents. So we'll see how that works. And yeah, back on a winning streak, especially with the aggressive shop leveling too. So that's a big win. A little, I kind of want to see how Rolling Thunder works with the Swashbuckle. And I also want to potentially do some mana break as well with it. So could add that into play. And Rot's been popping for me a lot. I usually like Rolling Thunder with Rot, but I'll throw on my frontline unit as well. There's a lot of illusion builds happening. Just beating out the Prelix build. I think that's the second time I faced them. So need to watch out for the illusions build. That's also why I'm holding on to Arc Lightning as well. Take care of those illusions with the EMP. I also have Rage favorited because I did want the invulnerability when I'm casting Death Ward. I value that. Not everybody wants that. If you're going to be casting it late, maybe you won't get stunned by the initial stuns of battle like a Ravage. The EMP did pretty well. His front line is completely out of mana. And then Lina does the cleanup. So Lina, easily the carry of this game. And I get Ogre. Ogre will be great with an instant attack build. Ogre's got a good amount of mana. So I throw in a Reality Rift, do the Starbreaker or the Boundless Strike. And then I'll want to get some sort of attack modifier in there while looking for Grow. That would be really nice. So we'll see how this plays out now that I've got all my guys in play. Omni Knight did a good job distracting the back line while I took care of the opponent's front line, and pretty good. So far the EMP, I haven't really noticed it. That's one of the things that did get nerfed. In the latest one, EMP got nerfed, but other spells didn't get touched as much. Invoker's been repeatedly nerfed. You know, you used to be able to put Alacrity on 2 units, which was really valuable. And you could kind of do an Omni Slash build and then a build like Lina, and you would just create 2 overwhelming physical carries. So that was a lot of fun. They of course nerfed that, and now you kind of, it opens up a lot of the other abilities, and a lot of people have been using EMP, so that's been getting nerfed, and now you know, it opens up trying to do more of these spells. So we'll see how it goes. You can see EMP worked really well on the Dragon Knight, drained all of his mana, but on the OD still had plenty of mana, and there's also a lot of mana regen in this game, so it may not be the best spell to go for. So I'm debating Do I stick with EMP? I'm kind of sticking with it since it's been one of the meta spells to use on Invoker along with Alacrity. For the time being, I'm on a winning streak, so I'll keep it going. So checking my spells, checking where they're at. One of the things I like, if you see I'm using Infernal Blade with Blood Rage, the reason for that is its magical damage, so the Blood Rage will amp the spell amp, and then you have the Infernal Blade working as well, so a really powerful combo that I like to use a lot. And of course Pierce the Veil is just one of those spells that's just strong as is. I could pick up Rage and do an invulnerability build, which is what I've been trying to do, but I do value that lifesteal a little bit more than making the untouchable build that I've done in the past. So that is kind of why I'm picking up Rage and selling it. I'm kind of a little wishy-washy whether I need it. Orchid works really well with the silence. I think that'll help since I don't have the most stuns at the moment right now. The Reality Rift with the Boundless Strike is one of my few stuns, and then of course once I get Waveform up, that should work out as well, but I don't have too many other stuns, so I like Orchid for an additional crowd control. And the Swashbuckle just wasn't working. You know, it just works to have one spell on the Rolling Thunder. It's working out just fine for some additional CC and stuns. So you can see my damage pretty much all magical, especially the Lina when it's in Pierce the Veil. Even with a lot of spell immunity, it's working out really well. And you know, I've talked about, I guess I haven't talked about it lately with this one. Switching to the Sunstrike, I could do that. However, need to make sure I also have Alacrity into play. The issue with Sunstrike is that it's not the most powerful spell, but once you get it to 7, it will be really powerful and it will do Cataclysm. So that's something you can do. In the meantime, I'll just switch to Cold Snap, add an additional spell to there. I'm waiting for Exhort to get to level 7, and then I'll get Cataclysm into play. So for right now, EMP wasn't doing the most for me, so I'll just get Cold Snap for making my carry just a little bit stronger. So I get a little bit swarmed here, and my front line doesn't protect my Lina, and I end up losing. Really unfortunate after I had just switched to the Cold Snap. But I'm still doing well. I'm in first place by a bunch, so I'll just go ahead and max shop out and go extra greedy.
Oh yeah, that's a Gaben right there.
A couple people getting Gabens, especially the Alchemist. Last place getting a Gaben. Curse Crown I don't think is going to be the ultimate game changer they need, but you never know. It is a tough spell to deal with. So I face him. Let's see how I can do against him. I face second place. Let's see how this goes. This guy's got a lot of illusions. And that line was healing a bunch and doing a lot of damage. So that was a little bit of tough. I can probably deal with it really easy if I get Infernal Blade to Gaben. But first I get Waveform to Gaben. Waveform is a spell I really like for the mobility. I think it's a spell that's valuable at level 1 just for some mobility. Picking it up to level 3 and level 6, it has the stun at the super. And then of course when you get it to Gaben, it has multiple charges and the additional range. So it's a really good spell, I think, for a frontliner to get to the back line, adding some stuns if you don't have something like Ravage. Really good spell that I don't think is valued by many people. Right there, perfect example of the waveform. Getting the stun off, saving my Lina. And I'll switch back to the EMP for now, like I said, waiting for Exort to get to level 7. And that'll rely on getting up spells and power level. So keep buying spells, keep going with the game, and eventually I'll get there. If you don't know how the spell points work with Invoker, I would suggest looking at some of my past Invoker games. I'll go more in depth about it. I played Invoker a lot, especially last year. So if you're looking for more of an intro guide to Invoker, I would check out those. The Omni Knight build working out really well. Waveform getting it to game in, and then Rot getting it up really high with all of the illusion builds that are happening. And of course his additional survivability. I haven't been finding Double Edge. I'm kind of just putting it in there as a just to block other people from getting it. But I've got the Infernal Blade to counter anybody that's getting it to game in. And then you can see I'm going for the Sunstrike now. Lena gets a little bit exposed here. And unfortunately just doesn't have the survivability there. So, a bit of a bummer there. It looked like the Cataclysm did a lot of good damage. And now I get Rot to game in, so I'll get the level 3 Dismember. Should work out really well. It can go through while I'm waveforming, so it will do a lot of damage. Rot, another spell that I really like to get, and I think it's valuable at any level, maybe level 3, level 6, and game in. And there we go, knocking out 3rd place. So now it's just down to me in 2nd place here, or 1st place, sorry. Looks like we both did really well in this lobby, so it could be one of those that lasts a few rounds, depending if we're going back and forth or not. So we'll see how this goes. Death Ward, not a spell that I need to target or go for Gaben, but of course is always valuable there. So I'll just go ahead, drop Rage, pick it up. He's got a lot of good stuns here. But the waveform comes in clutch, and so does the Arc Lightning. So working out really well. I liked the Cataclysm. There's Rage again. I kind of want to pick it up. It looked like I was getting hit by a lot of magic damage, and the Rolling Boulder was annoying. And then I get Pierce the Veil to Gaben, so this one is huge with the Gunslinger. I've got the bonus attack range, bonus attack damage, and the additional time from the super. So Pierce the Veil, once it gets to Gaben, huge game changer. Cataclysm doing huge work there. That was a really good job, Lena, topping the charts. Omni Knight, who used to be topping the charts, is kind of falling off. Witch Doctor's pitching in, and then it looks like a lot of my frontline initiators are getting hurt. That's okay. And I get Reality Rift, so now I'm going to be pulling really far back. And I'm pulling one of their backline units. I need probably either to target the Lion or his backline damage dealer, the skeleton guy. And a huge Cataclysm there. Pretty much take out the entire team that isn't spell immune, which is the Rolling Boulder. And yeah, that worked out big time. So you can see Cataclysm coming in clutch there. One of the spells that maybe not everybody uses, like I said, but now the EMP has been nerfed. It could be a spell that people look to replace EMP. You can see once you get to the from Sunstrike to Cataclysm, it's just doing some huge damage. So let's see if I can replicate it. Hasn't beat me yet. Let's see if I can close it out right here. yeah, immediately delete most of his team again. There's just nothing to do. He can't run away. He tries to move his guys around, but you can't run away from Cataclysm. So yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoyed this game. Showed the power of Cataclysm and showed that Invoker is still a top tier god in this game. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.